Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Erin.
You're listening to Banter and Dish podcast.
We'll share relatable stories and recipes
with a hint of humor
and a dash of delight.
I like it. Welcome to Banter and Dish podcast. Whether you've been with us from the beginning or this is your first time, thank you so much for joining us. The format of the podcast is that we banter for a bit, then chat about an easy dish. And today's recipe is pull apart garlic bread from Taste of Home. This episode is being recorded on May 9th and will be available for you to stream on June 3rd, which means I need to wish my parents a very happy 53rd wedding anniversary. Their anniversary is June 3rd.
Oh, wow.
So happy anniversary, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, happy anniversary. 53 years. That's impressive.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I will never achieve that goal.
Aw.
Because even if I got married today,
now, right,
I would be 100 or over 100 when I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I always loved the older couples that have been married for 50 or 75 years or whatever. So that was like something I always wanted to be.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess that's just
because they're sweet, you know, like a sweet older couple. And
it just seems nice.
Yeah, exactly. It does seem nice. And like when you get married, you think that's going to be the case.
Well, it's kind of the plan.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was kind of the plan. I thought.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I thought that was the plan too.
That was the plan.
We were deceived. I never in a million years thought that I would be divorced. I just never did. My parents were together and I just assumed that my marriage would last, and it didn't. Yeah. And that's okay, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't what I planned, but it's okay.
I guess the divorce rate is much higher now than when our parents were younger.
Yes.
So I suppose it's a little more common now to
not have your marriage last 53 years.
Don't worry about it. It's common occurrence nowadays. Don't get that upset about it.
Right, exactly. Marriage is a gamble. We go into it with a 50-50 chance of the dice rolling the right way.
Maybe that's how marriage should be put, you know, instead of the whole making a lifetime commitment till death do you part. Maybe you could just be like, well, you guys seem happy now. Let's, you know, hope for the best. I don't know.
Yeah, like I take you until one of us gets sick of the other, and
exactly.
Put that right in the vows so that it's like full disclosure, complete honesty. Because really, when I got divorced, that was one of the things that bothered me. The fact that we said these vows in front of our family and friends and promised to be with each other forever. And I was like, that meant nothing, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe it's not so much the divorce itself, you know, but
the broken promise.
The broken promise that losing that trust in someone.
Yeah.
If you really are in love, you don't usually leave that person.
Right. So yeah, I like those vows better where it's like, I promise to love you until maybe I don't anymore.
And I'll let you know.
That would be way more honest, but yeah, that's not going to happen. But anyway, hey.
Okay, yes.
Happy anniversary to my parents and to anybody else who's having, you know, an anniversary soon. That's awesome.
Exactly. We really get off topic quickly. Yes, back to the anniversary celebration.
This was not our intention to talk about divorce.
Sensitive subject.
It's relatable.
Well, yes. So hopefully they do something fun and romantic.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope they do too. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so
it's June for the listeners.
Yeah, June. Hold on a second. There's some weird noise coming from the basement. It's just my furnace turning on.
Oh.
Because you know it's still very cold here.
In June. Well, actually, like I said, it's May 9th.
Yeah, it may still be cold in June by the time this airs.
It probably will be early June. I remember being at the pool. We used to join our local pool and my kids were on the swim team. They would have practices, you know, from like Memorial Day weekend on, and I would be sitting on the side, like with jeans, a sweatshirt, a jacket, freezing, and my poor kids are in the water. I felt like I was torturing them.
Yeah, well, kids think that's fun when they're swimming in the cold.
They did, but their teeth were chattering quite a bit, so, you know.
Nearing hypothermia, but they were still having fun, so.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're coming into the swimming season here in
southwestern Pennsylvania. Sunny Pittsburgh, PA.
Took the words out of my mouth. Yes. For new listeners, that's where we're broadcasting from, Pittsburgh, PA.
Yeah. Do you have any good swimming stories, Erin?
Well, we don't have a pool. I grew up with a swimming pool, though.
Yeah.
When I was a kid at my parents' house, which was nice.
Yeah, me too. It seemed like a lot of people had backyard pools then. I guess some people still do.
Yeah, I think it was like a big thing, I guess, in the 80s, 90s to get that pool. That was like a sign of I don't know.
We've made it.
You're doing well or something.
Right.
You made it as a middle class family. You got
to have that above ground pool.
Yeah. I do not have one. I probably have a big enough yard where I could get one, but I feel like along with plants and animals, that's one more thing you have to take care of. And I just don't feel like I would want that responsibility of having to, clean a pool, do the chemicals.
They are a lot of work.
Yeah, they are.
When I was early in my marriage, we had a pool.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you have to go out, start that filter first thing in the morning, check the chemicals, or it is green in a couple days. Yeah, wow. You have to stay on top of it.
And then there's parts that break too. My aunt has a pool. She has a very nice pool. She has the in-ground pool.
Ooh.
She really made it.
I've never had that.
Yeah, it's an in-ground.
Wow.
So yeah, we go there to feel really rich.
Yeah.
So, no, I guess the pool's older now because she seems to have problems sometimes with pump pieces breaking or things not working, and then you have to get them replaced, and it's expensive, whatever. Like a car, I guess. You have to keep up on the maintenance and that. But yeah, I said I would only get a pool if it came with a pool boy.
Yes. Somebody to take care of it, really. That's all you need. Because if I could have had somebody go out there and turn it on and do all the things it needed done to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With their shirt off. No, I'm kidding.
A really good looking pool boy.
Added pleasure.
Because if you're going to get a pool boy, he might as well be eye candy too.
Oh my goodness. So I don't know that I have any really interesting pool stories, but apparently I've almost drowned twice as a kid.
Wow. Now, can I ask beforehand, are these funny drowning stories or super serious?
Well, I kind of laugh about it now because, the first story I remember is I was probably about 5 years old. The story is kind of funny now because I'm a parent, so I kind of maybe see what my mom was thinking at the time.
Through? Yeah.
We were in the backyard pool, me and my mom. I think she was just trying to relax for a while. As a mom, it's you don't get a lot of downtime. So I think she just maybe, wanted to just float on the raft around the pool and relax for a little bit. Yeah. So I also was floating on a raft next to her in the pool. Now, this was before I knew how to swim, and I was still too little to stand up in the pool. So I suppose she thought that it was safe that I was on the raft.
She heard no splashing.
Until I fell off of the raft.
Right.
I fell off of the raft, and I remember going under.
Oh, wow.
And, I imagine she grabbed me quick enough. I think she was kind of sleeping. As a matter of fact, if I kind of remember correctly, she was kind of dozing off. And I guess she heard the splash and then woke up.
Thank God, right?
Grabbed me. I didn't inhale water or anything. She got me quick enough to where it wasn't I didn't need CPR or anything. But I do remember being under the water and kind of panicking for a quick moment, I'm in trouble here. And then I guess she must have scooped me up, so it was all good. But
that's good. Phew.
Yeah, as an adult now, though, I think, that was irresponsible. Why didn't I have swimmies on, for goodness sakes?
Well, you were on a raft. She thought you were safe.
She did not think I was going to fall off of that thing. I was probably getting bored. Just floating around.
Yeah, Mom, come on, relaxing time is done. You probably were going to try to hang off the edge and kick your feet or something, and you just went too far.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be things, as our kids grow up, they'll probably say, gosh, I can't believe you let me do that. That was dangerous. Or that was stupid.
Well, yeah.
We learn, we learn from it all.
My dad, actually, I felt like one time he was trying to kill me too. Speaking of parents trying to kill you, we were in Washington, D.C., and he's like, wow, look at the view of the Capitol out our hotel window. Oh. And I don't think there was a screen in it. Oh. I leaned out and he caught me. Thank goodness. But
oh my God, Jill, I'm afraid of heights. So that just whoa, yikes. Yeah, well, that's true. Because that was a big thing as we were getting older as kids, and especially now, is the whole screen thing. Like, because even if there's a screen, it could pop out if you push on it, So like, there's that thing. Don't let your kid lean against the screens in the window because they could fall out. So even if there was a screen, it's still dangerous. Yeah.
So I don't remember details. It probably wasn't as bad as I'm remembering in my mind, but I remember my dad told me to look out the window. I looked and I almost fell to my death. That's all I remember.
Yeah, that's very traumatic, scary. My goodness.
In the reality of it all, maybe the window wasn't even open. I don't know, but that is my memory.
You were actually on the first floor of the hotel.
Right. We were watching it on TV. We weren't even in Washington, D.C. He said, look at the Capitol. I've created this whole memory of me falling out of a hotel window.
That could happen. Very imaginative.
Yes, I am.
You have an active imagination.
Creative
as a kid.
like that, yes. Wait, I have a kind of funny pool story. Speaking of backyard pools, we had a backyard pool in our one house and we moved and we actually dug up the pool and moved the pool, if you can believe it.
You moved the friggin' pool?
Because we moved houses. So we
you
moved
took the pool with you?
Us. Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant you moved it in the yard to a different area.
No. No, we moved to a new house and we took the pool.
Oh, wow.
Before my parents had an electrician out to have the wires grounded somehow. Mm-hmm. I was plugging in the filter. Well, the grass had been a little bit wet. I had a friend over. She wanted to swim. And so we went out in the yard and I picked up the 2 wet wires from the grass and I plugged them in. I thought she was behind me shaking me for a second. And then I realized it was a current of electricity running through my body. And I threw it onto the ground. But I remember calling my mom, like crying and going, I just got electrocuted.
Oh my God.
Like,
seriously?
If I had gotten electrocuted for real, I wouldn't have been able to talk. But that was scary. Because I remember thinking, like, why are you shaking me? And then I realized, I'm holding on to an electrical current that's shaking me. Throw it to the ground.
Why are you holding my hair out on its ends?
Why do I smell like I'm burning? No.
Why are you using dry ice behind me? That's really scary. So you were fine? I mean...
Well, you be the judge, Erin. Am I fine?
Well, I mean, maybe some wires got crossed up there, but...
Let's say I survived it. Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't have any organ damage or anything.
Not that I know of, but nobody took me to the hospital, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
I get nervous about using electrical. This must have been a big issue with kids in the 80s and probably the 80s, more 70s, 80s, I guess.
Yeah.
Like sticking things into electrical sockets.
Oh, yeah. Why was that such a big deal? Were we stupider back then or what?
Well, I just remember my mom always specifically saying, do not ever put a butter knife in an electrical outlet. I'm thinking, why? Who's putting butter knives in an electrical outlet?
Right. Who would do that? But people do that.
Yeah. Or in the toaster, like don't use a butter knife to get the toast out of the toaster.
Yes. Unplug it first.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess the toaster thing, I could see that could be kind of something you don't really think through. But I wasn't sure the whole sticking a butter knife in an electrical socket. Why?
I don't think it would work. Would it even fit?
I don't know, but apparently it was a thing, I guess, because she made sure to teach us that as kids.
I've heard of people sticking like a paper clip in there.
Oh, ew. I don't know. I guess kids are curious and
then they invented those plug covers.
Yeah.
That's probably why. Because maybe they didn't have them when we were kids, and that's why you heard about stuff like that more?
I believe so, yeah.
I'd be curious to know when the plug cover was invented, the outlet cover.
The plug cover, yeah.
Do any of our listeners know?
I made sure I bought those when my kids were small, too.
I got a lot of shower gifts, so I think people just knew maybe that would be a wise thing for me to have on hand. So maybe
Jill's not good with electrical. Let's help her out here.
Covers invention. I'm Googling this now. When were outlet covers invented? This will have to be something maybe I put in a little bit more time researching. I can't find a quick answer on that. But
wow. Google failed us. Google? What the?
I don't think I had a very good wording for my search. I was trying to be quick and it didn't work out. So as we know, words are important. As we learned in a Google search, it's important to think through your wording before you... before you hit enter.
Yeah, you got to watch what you're Googling.
Yeah.
My second near drowning story, I don't remember specifically, but I was told I was at my aunt's swimming. We were kids. probably, I don't know, around the same age again. I don't know, 6 or 7 maybe. So still no swimmies. I couldn't stand up in the pool yet. And I guess I wasn't a strong swimmer yet. So we were jumping in the pool in the inner tube and then you jump in.
Jump in. You went right through.
Yeah, I slipped right through. And my uncle saved my life apparently and dove in quickly and got me to the top.
Good. I'm glad he was paying attention.
Good. Yeah, exactly. Well, that was the other thing I was thinking. I'm like, well, good Lord, why was nobody like really watching all of us kids jumping around in the pool like that? But
maybe they were, and they're like, oh, look at how cute she slipped right down. And then like they take a minute to process, and they're like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh gosh, she's not coming back up.
Maybe somebody should get her.
When my kids were smaller, I was extra paranoid about water. I would have them in an inner tube and in swimmies.
Yeah.
You know, like I was very overprotective about them being in the water, and people would always get on my case about it. But I mean, come on, like, seconds and you know, it could be a bad outcome, you know?
Yeah, we had a backyard pool when my kids were little. And yes, I was very careful. They always had the water wings on and, you know, either a life vest or something. But yeah. No accidents there, I'm proud to say.
Yes, me too. And you know, another thing I'm proud of, I don't know if it's just like a saying or what, but you know, you always say your mom must have dropped you on your head when you were a kid.
You never did that?
I never dropped any of my kids. I was nervous that I might.
Yes. In fact, I fell down the steps holding Eilish for sure. I don't think Finn, but you start to fall. I didn't drop her. So I was really proud of that. Wow. I kind of just cradled her up and, you know, and I just bounced down on my butt.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a scary feeling when you're, because your instinct when you're falling is to grab something, but I'm holding a baby in my arms. So I just hung on tight and down the two of us went.
Yikes. Yeah, that's scary because you could have fallen the wrong way and fallen on top of her or something.
Oh, so, yeah. Because I'm pretty sure she was little, like an infant you know, cradling her in my arms.
Yeah, I never dropped any of my kids. I was real proud of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't either. If I did, it was just a minor spill. But
if I did nothing else right as a mother, I did not drop them.
That's great. Same. So this week I made pull-apart garlic bread from Taste of Home. It was a fairly easy, basic recipe. I'll tell you the recipe at the end, but it kind of goes with next week's recipe.
Okay.
So I think this is something that anybody can make, any cooking level. I feel like a small child could probably make this dish as well. You start with one of those freezer breads, the frozen loaf of white bread. Have you ever gotten those?
No. No, that sounds too complicated.
No, it's easy. I started getting those because my friend Heather's mother, Linda, uses those as pizza crust. And it is delicious as pizza crust. You let it thaw and rise, and then just press it into your pan for pizza and put your sauce and toppings on. It's delicious that way. So I do usually have these on hand in my freezer because that's what I like to use as my pizza crust.
Okay.
Just as a little tip for the listeners. Thanks to Linda for that tip. It said to thaw your bread. And then when it's thawed, but not like, super risen, you cut it into like about 1-inch cubes.
Okay.
You get a 1/4 cup of butter melted with a tablespoon of parsley flakes. It said to use garlic powder, a teaspoon, and garlic salt, like a 1/4 teaspoon or something. I did not have garlic salt, so I used garlic powder and sea salt. I didn't use a full 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. I just put a few grinds in from my sea salt grinder. That's what the recipe said, but I threw in some dried chives too.
Okay.
And then you just roll those little balls in that. You put it back in the bread pan and you let it rise. It said about an hour. It said it till it gets twice its size. I think I actually let mine go about an hour and a half. And then you bake it in the oven at 350 for 30 minutes and you have yourself some pull-apart garlic bread.
Wow. So is it together?
Yeah.
You said pull apart.
I mean, you could pull it apart. I was slicing it before I realized, duh, Jill, pull apart bread means you just pull these chunks off.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So you because you said you cubed it, I thought, and I was wondering.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a date bread, or I think they're called monkey bread. Is that a thing?
I think so.
Yeah, and you can pull those
put
apart.
Stuff in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, okay, yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah, so if you're having a dinner party or something and you need a bread side dish and you want, something maybe slightly fancier than bread and butter, that, it's pretty easy to make. You just have to plan because you have to plan to thaw it about 5 hours.
Right.
And then do the whole step and then let it rise another hour where you bake it.
Now, can I be the wet blanket here and ask why not just buy the already frozen garlic knots or garlic breadsticks?
That's a very valid question. And one of my statements is for this, I like my garlic bread where I just butter Italian bread and sprinkle garlic powder on it and put it in the oven just as well, if not more. So I probably won't make this regularly, maybe every once in a while. Lloyd wasn't home this past weekend, so I don't know if he would have loved it. That would be the only reason why I would make it again, probably to let him try it. Now, I do have a little funny story about Lloyd being away that I would like to share, and it involves Darcy of Nami Wax Darcy Talks. She and I were texting. Lloyd's been away in Michigan visiting his brother this weekend. Darcy was saying about how much she loves to have alone time. She texted me that her husband was away. This is a quote from her. I literally had the time of my life. So then because of that, I shared this story with her that before Lloyd left, we were in the car together and my phone buzzed and a notification went off that said Lloyd gone. And he was like, hey.
But you had a phone reminder that to let you know that he's gone and you can celebrate.
It seemed like it to him, but I was like, no, honey.
Oh, it's just you just had it on the calendar so you didn't plan something. Oh, I got you.
I had it on the calendar. And so I jokingly at first said, ignore the one that's going to buzz in 20 minutes that says like prep for party. But I was like, honey, I needed to remember what weekend you were gone for like planning stuff and everything. But he was kind of offended that it was like Lloyd gone. Like I was like prepping for it. I was so excited.
I take that the wrong way. I almost took it the wrong way and I didn't even see it. So I'm not even Lloyd. And I almost was like, dang, Jill, that was a little messed up.
Right. So Darcy, I texted her that and she said something like, I am dying. The only thing in her mind that would have made that more amusing is if it said Lloyd gone and then had a fireworks emoji after it.
Well, yeah, that would have been the celebration.
Yeah, like, woohoo! He's gone! Party time! Anyway. Yeah, so Lloyd is gone this weekend and did not try my bread.
Okay. For people that, like to cook or like to be in the kitchen, this recipe would probably be good for them. Me, myself, I would probably just opt for the already
frozen
pre-made frozen.
Right. Yeah.
It takes 4 minutes in the oven. I've never cooked with fresh dough or like you're saying the frozen. So I'm not skilled in that arena. But for people that are, this would probably be a good recipe.
Yeah. You have to plan for it, but it makes it maybe something a little bit of effort, like you try, instead of just taking out the garlic knots, which is nice too.
Yeah, if you're having a dinner party, like, and you're having pasta or something, that would probably be a good, good to make, because people might think, oh, you made the homemade bread. Like, they might think you actually made the dough and everything.
Which you could.
It might impress people.
If you wanted to put in all that effort, you really could. For ease of preparation, I'm going to say it's a 4. It was very easy, but you did have to take the time to thaw it and all that stuff. Taste, like we talked about, I'm just going to give it a 3. I thought it was average, and I thought that personally I could make my own garlic bread in 10 minutes time. It was that I didn't have to plan hours of my life around thawing the loaf and rising it and all that stuff. And then for digestion, it was a 5. I mean, it was totally fine for me.
It's bread. Yeah. I would like to know how that processes through Lloyd's digestive
I know.
tract.
The buttery bread, you would think probably would give him heartburn. Crescent rolls, we all know, do not do well with him. But anyhow, I did say that it goes with next week's recipe, Instant Pot lasagna.
Okay.
From Amy and Jackie at pressurecookrecipes.com.
All right. That sounds easy.
Spoiler alert. I made it to eat with the bread. I may make it again when Lloyd comes home, and I'll probably tell you both versions because the first version is a little bit amusing. So stay tuned next week for a funny story about my Instant Pot lasagna.
All All right.
Thank you all for listening to Banter and Dish podcast. We hope you got a chance to laugh with us today. And if you're enjoying the show, please like, rate, review, and subscribe. And probably more importantly than all that, please tell somebody about us who you think might enjoy listening to the podcast too.
Yeah, we'd love to have some new listeners. And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search Banter and Dish podcast. And we thank you all for hanging with us this week, and we look forward to hearing from you next week.
So stay tuned and stay safe. And wherever life may take you this week, try to add a hint of humor.
And a dash of delight. Does she expect us to be making it?
No,
okay,
not at all.
Okay. Because I was going to say maybe I should make an effort to try to make it, but I don't want to make any promises that I can't. No. I don't want to make any promises I can't keep. I'm not that kind of person. Right. When I make vows, I take them seriously.
Yes. I like to keep true to my word.
And I mean, is that really God's fault? I don't know.
No, I don't think it's God's fault. I think we probably made bad choices.
God said, honey, you're an idiot. I can't change that.
Yeah, I can't help you if you're going to make such a bad choice to begin with.
I can't fix that.
I can only work with what I can work with.
I appreciate the honesty, God. Thank you.
Yeah.
We always say we like to keep it light here on Banter and Dish, but somehow this summer swimming talk turned into death. And
same with the anniversary talk. It took a turn. Now, I feel like even when we take a turn, we see the humor in the turn.
Yeah.
I hope our listeners do too.